students, welcome to Nisha Kale's English Lab. Today I'll give you an explanation of the lesson Hearts and Hats, written by O. Henry. O. Henry is a popular American writer. His stories are known for its gentle wit, humor and a sting in the tail or a twist in the end, or in other words you can say a surprise ending. The three main characters are Mr. Easton, Miss Fairchild and the Marshal. They are sitting in a train at Denver. Miss Fairchild is a smart, elegantly dressed lady who is very beautiful. Mr. Easton is a young, handsome man with a bold countenance, and the Marshal is a gruff, glum-faced, roughly dressed man, heavily built. Mr. Easton and the Marshal are handcuffed to each other. The attractive woman, Miss Fairchild, is also seated, and she looks at those two men. Suddenly her smile brightens and she recognizes her old friend, Mr. Easton. She gives out a little grey gloved hand for a shake hand with her friend Mr. Easton. When Mr. Easton sets his eyes on Miss Fairchild, he is a little embarrassed. Embarrassed because he is handcuffed. He extends his left hand to shake hands with her because his right hand was handcuffed to the rough man. He seems to recognize Miss Fairchild, but Fairchild looks at the handcuffs. Her color of the face vanishes and the eyes turn into bewildered horror. The bracelet here is defined for the handcuffs, a shining bracelet. The glow from her cheeks fade away. There is a distress in her eyes when she looks at the handcuffs. Now the glum-faced man or the rough man was watching all this with keen, shrewd eyes. Immediately he butts in. And what does he say? He says, "You'll excuse me, miss, but I see you're acquainted with the Marshal here." So, he points to Mr. Easton as Marshal, and he as a convict who's being taken to Leavenworth prison, and he has 7 years for counterfeiting. Here counterfeiting may refer to fake currency or imitation of any valuable item for deceiving or for fraud. "Oh," said the girl, and the color returned back on her face. And then she asks him, "So, this is what you're doing here? You are a marshal?" Now Mr. Easton, who was slightly embarrassed in the beginning, is calm and composed. He says, "Money has a way of taking wings into itself. That means money goes quickly." And because he was in Washington, and Washington is having a rich people inhabitation, so he feels that to keep up with the crowd, he too needed money. And then when he got this job as a marshal, he took it up. And he also says it is not quite as high as that of an ambassador. When he speaks the word ambassador, the girl breaks into a smile. This shows that she is fond of good positions and life. She calls him a dashing western hero, since he is a marshal who rides and shoots and goes into all kinds of dangers. Then after a while, the girl's eyes again goes back to the handcuffs. She seems a little worried about the handcuffs. The glum-faced man says, "Don't worry about it, miss." All marshals handcuff their prisoners to keep them from getting away. And Mr. Easton here knows his business. Then the girl asks Easton whether she would meet him again in Washington. And then Easton replies, "My butterfly days are over, I fear." Here butterfly days means good and adventurous days, carefree days. And he fears that he would suffer because of his mistakes. Then the girl tells that she loves the West. She loves the life in the West. And she also talks that she had spent her summer with mother, but since her father became ill, she left. So here we come to know that the girl did not go with the mother to visit the ailing father. And she says she is happy to live in the West. So we come to know she was accustomed with the luxurious lifestyle. And she was quite carefree. She was an experienced traveler. And then she also says something that money isn't everything. But people always misunderstand things and remain stupid. So she says that money isn't everything and people misunderstand. In other words, she refers to that money is important. Now the marshal becomes, the glum-faced man is little impatient. He says that he wants a smoke and they should move towards the smoker's cabin. Mr. Easton replies that he cannot deny a petition of tobacco because it is the one friend of the unfortunate. People generally rely on tobacco to forget their tension and worries. So he wishes Fairchild goodbye and moves on. The two men slide into the smoker's cabin. There are two passengers, onlooking passengers in the train, and one comments that Marshall is a good sort of a chap. Some of these Western fellows are all right, and he seems to be pretty young to hold an office like that. At this, the other onlooker replies, "Oh, didn't you catch on? Say, did you ever know of an officer to handcuff a prisoner to his right hand?" That means no marshal handcuffs his right hand to the convict. That was the sting in the tail. Easton here appears bold with a frank countenance, but he became a little embarrassed when Miss Fairchild set his eyes on him first. Miss Fairchild was young, beautiful, elegantly dressed, used to traveling, and when she would speak, she knew people would listen. And she was the one who judged by outward appearances and got it all wrong. You can also say that she was slightly flirtatious. If we talk about the theme of the story, here, Hearts is the kind and a compassionate marshal who understands the relationship between Easton and Miss Fairchild and comes to the rescue, even risking his own reputation. Hands here represents handcuffs and the judgment based on appearances. If you like this channel, please subscribe to it, and we are looking forward to putting in more videos for you all, dear students. Thank you.